So the schedule was released, and we'll talk about a lot of stuff. But let's hyperanalyze based on this NBA calendar, such a good app for stats and stuff. Of course, it can't 100% give you everything, but here's a quick, of course, glossary of what you can see from them, and you can see the resting advantages, how they work. You can see, of course, the Vegas informed estimate of team strength, which uses a lot of ratings, but it doesn't overall matter. It's just to get us some perspective, and most of all, it's overall to see who has the hardest strengths of schedule, which is the San Antonio Spurs, who have the highest ahead of the Houston Rockets, which makes sense. They are the worst teams in the NBA in a way. Then we have the Kings, Lakers, and Warriors. That is because they play each other a lot, I would say. And obviously, most of the time, you have the worst teams in the league or the teams that are in the toughest divisions here. That's why, for example, Denver is literally, of course, has the easiest strength of schedule according to the stats. Then you have teams like Cleveland, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Miami, Philly. And I guess they are really saying that the East is just weaker, I suppose. And the Suns are here, which is intriguing. Utah is here, which is really intriguing also. And what I also want to talk about is that the rest plus, which is the rest advantage, is when these teams should be rested and the other team should have less rest. For example, being there on a back-to-back, or just having less rest overall. I would say it's here actually described as it's entering a matchup with more rest days than the opposition does not necessarily constitute an advantage, and of course it depends based on these advanced statistics, but it's obviously what is the rest advantage based on these statistics, and based on the statistics, man, god damn, what am I even saying? But I actually did read up on it a little bit, and I understand it a little bit, not completely, but it's intriguing to see that the Celtics have the biggest rest advantage, not the Kings, T-Wolves, Trailblazers, Nets, but of course they also have 11 rest disadvantages, so it fairly evens out for most of the teams. Then you have some teams like the Warriors who have 6 rest advantages, then 9 rest disadvantages. The Pistons have the same, for example. I would say, where are the Lakers here? The Lakers have 7 and 12, so it's intriguing that the Lakers and the Warriors do get effed over the most, and it appears every year. And they also have the most back-to-backs, I would say, with Atlanta having 15, Charlotte, Cleveland, Detroit, Golden State, Clippers, Lakers, Orlando, and Sacramento. These teams have all have 15 back-to-back games, which is intriguing. The Lakers and the Warriors, the oldest teams, and the teams that will play the most nationally televised games. The Warriors will play 41, and the Lakers will play 4. They have the most back-to-back games. It's intriguing strategy by Adam Silver. Then you have 14, 13 games. It doesn't really matter. Boston is in 14 games, for example. Memphis, Milwaukee, Philly, Phoenix. So the best teams overall, have more, but it's still intriguing that the disadvantages are what they are. The most disadvantages are for Orlando, and Chicago has the less, I suppose, while Houston has the least true rest advantages, while Boston has the most, as I talked about. And otherwise, I wanted to talk about overall some of the matchups that they highlighted on the NBA Twitter account, as the NBA Finals do start June 6th, which is intriguing. Usually it starts a little bit early on in June, but it makes sense because the in-season tournament is there, which probably is the reason why it's essentially a week late, with the in-season tournament being there for how do you say it, for a week in December. How do you say it? The tip of week promotional games. Opening night will be great. Talked about it on the channel already. Big promo for all my other videos. The Celtics starting in the Garden against the Knicks should be fun. Wemby's first game against Luka should be great. Embiid versus Giannis, KD, LeBron. Once again, check out my video on it. I love the thumbnail. And Warriors at Kings will be great. I'm excited for that. We have actually 2 matchups pretty early on between these two. One in Sacramento, one in Golden State, one in San Francisco. And the playoff series, we all know, was special. Great matchups. The Warriors, of course, coming out on top with Steph dropping 50. That was great, and I can't wait to see that, man. Both teams should be better, I would say, actually. Even though Sacramento could be in for a little bit of a stale, but I also feel like their players are so young and they figured it out that they won't be worse. But it might just be the thing that the rest of the league just got better and they will stay. Not sure if the same, right? But they just won't get as better as the rest of the league did. But we'll see. I'll have a season preview right before the week it starts. I'll do some off-season recaps. I just have a lot of stuff to do and I want to get on it as soon as possible. The Celtics video is getting ready. It should be up next week probably. And it is essentially like more of a what I will do type video is instead of NBA schedule video. But hey, it doesn't matter. And they are always great because it means we have, of course, the NBA back these opening weeks, right? It's the most exciting time, the energy at the start of the season, everybody hopeful. And then, of course, it gets a little stale, especially in January after the All-Star break. It gets more exciting again. Then you just wait for the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, usually it's great. And of course, we also see the Knicks at Pelicans. Hopefully, we get a healthy Zion, who of course should have been a Knick. Ha ha ha. Rig it, please, next time. Adam Silver, I suppose. Utah at Phoenix could be really fun. Phoenix should be fun to watch if you like offense, right? If you like a lot of offense, even though Frank Vogel is their coach, so they might be surprising defensively. We'll see how that works. That will be really interesting to watch. And Utah, I really like Taylor Hendricks they drafted. They have a lot of fun young players, and they also, of course, have a lot of players that should get better. Walker Kessler should get better. Colin Sexton should be healthy, unless they actually trade him, right? And you'll have Lauri Markkanen coming off his best year, hopefully getting even more better. So Utah should be really fun, and they still have a lot of really good players. And then, Christmas games we also already discussed. Check that out also. Then we have MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day, and we have the Rockets at Sixers. It will be really interesting to see how this new Rockets squad is. But Embiid will be there, and they should be for sure better. And of course, then we will have Wemby in Atlanta. The Hawks, I follow them way more because, of course, they, how do I even say it? They are my best friend's favorite team, so I do watch them probably the second most of all teams. And I just cursed them, so they should 100% be more fun to watch for me. And they will have a full off-season with Quinn Snyder, second season for DeJounte and Trey together. No more John Collins and the speculations around him, more playing time for the younger guys. The Hawks should be better. Should be really better, actually. Warriors at Grizzlies. I was actually debating this with this very best friend of mine yesterday when they released this. And I wonder how great the rivalry between us and the Grizzlies will be without Dillon Brooks, actually. I feel like he was the heart and soul of the rivalry. Like, we really didn't respect him, right? They will respect everyone else, and yeah, the Grizzlies will still talk a lot, but I feel like it won't have the same juice, right? And it won't just have that passionate hatred in there, I think, without Dillon Brooks. But at the same time, it's Warriors against Rockets games should be more exciting or hateful, however you wanna put it that way, right? And OKC at Lakers, which is another good matchup. OKC always plays the Lakers good. I'm really high on OKC this year. They always play fun against the Lakers. Just remember last year spoiling LeBron's record-breaking night. Shea has had some great moments there. And, of course, then we will have the Rivals Week, which is still one of the weird things that the NBA is trying to do. But it's at the end of January when the things are most stale. And yeah, OKC Spurs and Trailblazers Spurs is not a rivalry, but I get what they are trying to do with Wemby versus Chet and Wemby versus Scoot. It really does make sense in that way, right? And of course, it's not a rivalry right now, but it could be down the line, and why not? I would say it's not actually unreasonable, and otherwise you have a lot of great matchups, man. You have the rivalry week should be entertaining at the end of the January, and you have Lakers, Warriors, Celtics, Heat, Knicks, Nets, Sixers against Denver. There is a lot of great matchups there, and as you can see, and I would say the Rivals Week could be a hit this year. We'll see, and hopefully it will be, the NBA Rivals Week year, I guess. This is the year of the NBA Rivals Week. that just doesn't get off the tongue easily. So anyway, that's it. It was a weird video, I know, but hey, thank you all for watching. I will be coming out with predicting every single game of the schedule on Sunday, which will be literally based off nothing, so that should be fun and weird. And tomorrow I'll be breaking down the Warriors schedule. So yeah, see you there. Be kind.